All right, we're here with Jhoira, Ageless Innovator. 2 minute 2-3. You can tap it to put 2 counters on it, and then from there you put an artifact into play equal to the amount of counters on it. So it goes from 2 to 4 to 6, and then to 8, and then 10, and then there's nothing really beyond that except Metalwork Colossus, I guess. So turn 2, you play this, and then next turn, hopefully, you have a 2 mana rock, which is most of them, to put into play. And then you can play a land while you're doing this, and then cast a 4-drop for with the mana that this generated off of a mana rock, which would be ideal, right? And then so on and so forth. And the next turn, you get a 4/1. You can also do less, so it's not just 4. You can do like a 3 or another 2 or something like that, so you're not completely screwed out of odd costed artifacts. Obviously, I think the even costed ones are just going to be better as long as you're, doing the max casting cheat is always going to be better than the not doing that, right? If you don't cast the One Ring, you don't get the protection trigger, but still putting the One Ring in play is still pretty cool off of this, right? You just sort of put the best artifact in your from your hand into play every time. Don't really not much to say about that, right? It's like, oh, this is the best artifact for this situation. Let me put that in play, right? It's pretty straightforward, I think. I've only played against it once, but I think a weakness is maybe there's not a lot of like lightning bolt effects, right? I'm a little removal light. I think that's just this kind of deck. I do have some of the really good counter spells, like the best of the best, and then like Cyclonic Rift and River's Rebuke and extra turns. I crafted Phyrexian Metamorph specifically for this deck. I've never used it before. This seems like the perfect deck for it, so why not? Still have Ulamog in here because I do have a lot of mana, or I assume I'm going to be generating a lot of mana that isn't simply just free artifacts. So I kind of like this. Precursor Golem is one of the first cards I ever played on paper with, I think. Yeah, Mirrored and Besieged or whatever. So it'd be kind of cool to just see what it can do here. If one of them gets targeted, they all get that target. So if they Doomblade one, they're all Doombladed. It's just kind of like a 5-mana 9/9 that is just divided into 3, but all dies basically to the same removal spell. Mirror Shell Crab is kind of cool. I like how I can channel it for a mana leak and also just surprise somebody with a big crab. I don't know, it's kind of funny. I assume I'm going to be using it as a counterspell more than anything. Have the obviously really powerful ones. They don't have to be colorless. At least I'm pretty sure they don't have to be. So yeah, I added Midnight Clock. It makes sense. I've never played with this either. It just plays into the artifact theme, right? Artifact enters battlefield. Just sort of get to, what is that? Sleight of hand? I think that's sleight of hand. So it seems kind of cool. I don't like Psy Master Opertist or whatever, the dude who makes Thopters when you cast artifacts, because I'm not really casting them. Most of them I assume are going to come off of Jhoira, especially the really expensive ones. I don't anticipate I have the mana to cast them, so most will just happen that way. The really interesting thing, though, as far as I can tell at least, is this enters lands too. You have this, and there's another one, right? Darksteel Citadel. I think there's 3 artifact lands, which is really interesting with this. That is just it's basically a mana rock. It basically is, but it is wise to pay attention to not play Treasure Vault early, so that this could, at the very least, put that in play, had you nothing else to put in play. And if I didn't say it already, Ragavan is in here, because we're red, and auto wins are what we're going for. I don't have any protection spells, or protection artifacts, like the boots or the mirror. I think I'm better off just foregoing that because I really want to get this going as quickly as possible, as I'm not doing too good of a job, at least currently, with defending myself. So if this dies, I'm kind of in a bad situation anyways, and it also doesn't necessarily immediately protect itself, right? Like the boots coming in later doesn't really negate your opponent's opportunity to kill it anyways. So I don't really like all of that. You could run because we have like Mox Amber, you could run maybe Spell Pierce, Dive Down, the 12 others that do the same thing. But I'm not going to do that. I want to make more room for the bombastic ridiculousness and more goofy cards. And we'll see what happens. So, like, comment, subscribe. Let's roll. Alright, this hand is actually really good. This hand is really good. I cannot sacrifice permanents. You got it. I don't think we're going to do that. Oh, great. Excellent. I don't see a reason to play Mox Amber. I don't see a reason not to. Alright, they didn't use the Llanowar Elves. Oh, it looks like they still can. Oh, alright, well, I guess it's a turn 3 5-mana card. Such is tradition. So I'm going to hardcast a 4-drop. I think this one's the most useful. And then whatever I choose to tap here just ends up getting tapped anyway, so just pass. Land is decent, but I don't think I need one. My opponent probably doesn't interact too much with me in that way. And I obviously can leave a 2-3 up to just block. My opponent did not cast their commander. I am very confused. My opponent's hand is really weird. Okay, I don't even think I agree with this. But sure. I don't know what I'm brainstorming for. It would just be a land, I guess. Mox Amber can be mana if I do it now. Alright, so I can go here and here. And then I'm going to draw the idol next turn, yep. And then play my land. And if they tap wrong, I guess... Oh, right, this triggers. If they don't use the halfling, I can wash away their commander. I don't even care about their commander, though. It's just like a 5/5. It still gets hit by Cyclonic Rift. Okay, well, they did it right anyways, so I can't wash it away regardless. Alright, I guess I'll play this. It just gives me more time to be kind of degenerate in the face of Sigarda. And yep, we tap. Alright, so I have two options for Jhoira. Oh, we also get to draw an extra card, basically, because I will not take damage this turn. It's pretty useful, maybe? I can leave this token up for War of Invention. I don't actually have to sacrifice it. It's kind of funny. I don't know if it matters too much, though. So getting Portal Phyrexia post-Rift is obviously really good. Opponent probably puts no more than 3 things in play anyways, and we just kind of get to hose it, so... That's a strange... Choose target enchantment you control. Alright, I guess they do have an enchantment now. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so it's my opponent's next end step in which we will use this, I believe. Yeah. So we'll just take a bunch of damage this turn cycle, or a certain amount of damage, and then... Target artifact enchantment created blah 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 aura. Okay, just make sure I don't find myself confused. And we just pass? Yeah, we just pass. This is probably really good, right? A second potential portal is probably good. I could let my opponent go to combat and then Rift, and then let them post-cast things, just so I hit it with Portal. Or I could just, Okay, I'm gonna do this... Wait, let the token resolve, and then I'll do this. My opponent tapped out pre-combat. They didn't float their mana. They didn't float their mana on their mana dorks. They could have floated their mana and recast them. They just didn't do that. Oh, that's so devastating. Yeah, okay, they messed up bad, right? I'm pretty sure they could have tapped their mana dorks to at least recast themselves. I was kind of anticipating them to do that if I was choosing to pre-end step Rift, but they just didn't, right? Like, they actually... How much mana could they have had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They literally just didn't have 5 extra mana. Like, over half the mana for the turn, they just didn't utilize because they didn't tap in response. They could have actually cast Sigarda. Yeah, that was actually a huge mistake. But again, even if they didn't, I still have Portal coming up. And, okay, wait, maybe I don't have Portal, because this says I can't get a Portal trigger. Yeah, I can't actually get Portal trigger, so if they did decide to put this in place specifically this turn, with the floating mana... Oh, no, we had Wash Away with Mox Amber. Okay, so we actually had that covered. Alright, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, the 3 creatures, if they did that, would die to Portal. Sigarda gets countered, so... It was all devastating, even if they didn't just decide to not actually float their mana. Neat. Cyclonic Rift for the win. Just violently ramping into it, and then my opponent wanted nothing to do with it. Which kind of makes sense. Alright, so just another one of these commanders again. Kills you quite quickly. I don't have... Okay, well I have Ragavan. The problem is, this deck runs 14 or like 14 to 15 1-drops, but trading Ragavan with what might be a crucial 1-drop is in fact useful, and I must do it, so no Brainstorm Shuffle, which is fine. Opponent is doing nothing but mulliganing for what I assume is a 1-drop, because nothing else matters. Make sure I get the, make sure I don't jack this up. There we go. They have to play out what I assume is this blocker. Look at that. To the surprise of literally nobody. I cannot in any way punish this. I can next turn slightly, but I think it's totally reasonable to trade with something like this. Alright. I would love to, like... Okay, I was gonna say kill a Menadork with Prismari command, but I can't. And I don't think Ragavan's ever going to get a window to swing, so... Alright, so do I Brainstorm, or do I just play this? I think I'm just gonna play this. One of them to your hand. That one. One of them into your library, and then that one we play. Alright, that worked out really nice. And Immortal Sun is a good card, so we keep that. It's not amazing, but it's like better than the average card. Which is a land, all things considered. That is a 3/1 trample that I've never seen before. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield... Okay, that's cool. It's just an elf. I guess that's what my opponent's philosophy is behind that. I really want to put Tome of the Infinite in play right now. But basically every single Tome card that I want to cast is an instant anyways. So I can just sort of wait. And I have nothing else to do. So... I guess I can Brainstorm? Okay, not ideal. Not ideal, alright. Not very exciting, but it is what it is. I am threatening counter magic. That might be something my opponent can think about. Notably, this is a turn 5 Voja. That's as slow as it can get. You don't ever see it that slow, like literally ever, but again, a force mulligan for that. That is an artifact, but it has Ward 2, so... Oh, I didn't give myself the opportunity to name to get the right card here. I jacked that up. I could have gotten Force Spike. I jacked that up. Alright, I'm not going to risk getting Giant Growth. It's just not reasonable. Please don't give me Force Spike. Please. Okay. Please don't give me Force Spike. Please. Alright, so Immortal Sun would be nice to play right now. I'm just saving myself a damage by putting it into play right now. It discounts my cards. They're just casting Voja next turn anyways, so I guess I'm saving myself a damage by not swinging. Wait a minute. What am I talking about? I have Paradox Engine. So I just put this in play. I tap this. Fog. Not ideal. Sure. Take... Nope. We want to draw that. Put it into play for franc. Or rather this. And then do this. Alright, nice. Alright, we actually... There isn't, like, an infinite combo here, but it is a value, like, crazy value engine. But you know what? It was about the friends we made along the way. Alright, well, I don't leave up Counterspell, and I don't have a turn 2 commander. Let's hope there's no Llanowar Elves. And it's a Llanowar Elves I can't interact with. Excellent. Assume this is a Utopia Sprawl, with my opponent struggling to cast it. Alright, even better. The other one. The, Arboreal Grazer, that's a 1-1 instead of a 0-3. Excellent. Alright, so I can play my commander and leave up Memory Lapse. But I cannot... Oh, my opponent doesn't have a land. Interesting. Interesting. Still gonna do the same thing. Alright, no land. No land. And this is basically a time walk, too, because my opponent doesn't draw a land. Oh, yeah, this is so good. This is just time walk. Oh, I love it. I love it. Literally time walking. Alright, this is only gonna get a 2, so I'll play a 4? I need red. Don't care about my life total. Do I play this? I'm not leaving up Counterspell. I know what my opponent's draw is. Yeah, what am I talking about? Of course I play this. And then I pass. I'll let them have the stopper, it's fine. Because it's I already time walked them. Alright, my opponent's just done. Yeah, I'm so far ahead of mana. Melek, that's the play off the top? Instant sorceries off the top? Is that what that is? Instant sorceries your graveyard, and instant sorceries cost less. Alright, so that's not quite what it is. Alright, I don't really like this hand, but I like it enough. Maybe I'll lightning bolt something, most likely not. This is a game where my commander will probably not do anything. Ever. I do like the One Ring, probably. I've got nothing else to do, so just run it out anyways. But yeah, I think we just, like, they counter mine, I counter theirs, and we just sort of stare at each other. And then I lose because my deck is probably worse than theirs. But who knows. Okay, wasn't anticipating any of that. They milled Jhoira, you got it. Well, if they don't have an answer to my commander in hand, and the 3 on top don't, then you're probably getting rid of them. My opponent got rid of Prismari command. Oh, right, it deals 2. This is a 2-3. I was about to say that doesn't make any sense, but it does now. 4, they're not doing that. It's turn, play you, and then you, and then else. Oh, look at that. Perfect 4 toughness. Excellent. God forbid I do that, though. Alright. Surely it works this time, though, right? Surely. The Mizzix's Mastery of Braid. That's weird. I guess no land? I don't think I'm upset with that one. Okay. Wrath, please, so I can play the game still? Nope, of course not. D-Spark, and then get rid of this crab. I think we're past that point. Lightning Bolt again, completely useless. Whoop-de-doo. Opponent does not cast their commander. Very strange. Very, very strange. Okay. I guess. Okay. Sure. And again, Lightning Bolt completely useless. This is also a 3, so both of these completely useless. I can kill their commander, but that's it. Draw 3, untap 2. Okay. I'm getting completely embarrassed by Jin. so degenerate. Yep. Well, at this point, there's nothing else to think about, so. And I don't see drawing anything relevant off of this One Ring this turn cycle, so I just won't do it. Opponent's just out here drawing infinite cards. Yep, you got it. Jumpstart is, I think you do not exile Jumpstart if I memory lapse it, like you would with Flashback. So memory lapsing this is not very useful. Why does this discount spells on the top of everything? It's just so stupid. This would literally make for an excellent commander as is. It's just a commander. Like, it is commander level text on it. Okay, that shuffles in their graveyard, which kind of resets the Jin, which is interesting. Huh, I would have actually drawn a castable card off my One Ring had I done that. I wouldn't have been able to leave anything up, though, but that is kind of funny. Okay, again, kind of past the having my commander be remotely relevant stage of this game anyways. So, I think for science, I'm just going to memory lapse the Chemist's Insight, see what happens. Because I have literally no idea. Oh, no, it gets exiled. It actually gets exiled like Flashback. Okay, good to know. Sure. Notably not immediately dead here. I will draw 2, discard 2, and blow up. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's despark. And then I can do 2 damage and 3 damage and actually kill this. I go to 4, so I'm not, like, out of anything, but, I mean, maybe I can be. All of this means I'm probably never tapping the One Ring. Alright, so 2 damage and blow up their thing. And then this. And I don't see a reason to... Oh, right, I don't have enough red mana. Yeah, I can't tap the One Ring, I'll die. I can't tap the One Ring. And now my opponent gets their commander in play, and it's just, I can't, like, beat it. Unless I infinitely chump it or something, which doesn't seem terribly reasonable. This is cast, but I don't know if it cares, if it sees it, if, like, casting your One Ring off of a One Ring does anything. Okay, let's do this. Let's do 1, 2, 3... Wait, undo... that. Copy key to the archive. Doomblade. Get rid of you. Doomblade now, so I can't, like, get counterspelled or something. And I'm still out of gas, and my One Ring has a counter on it, so now I'm dead really fast. Man, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Alright. You got it. Hilarious. 3 attacks and it might kill them. I cannot top the One Ring. I will die. Alright, my opponent changed the clock from 3 attacks to 2. Maybe I shouldn't have cast this. Okay, I did though. Sure. Top cards, blah blah blah. Put that many to your hand. Wait, how does this work? An opponent chooses one. Put that pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Okay. So I put this into their hand. I have to? Like that? Otherwise the literal Thopter kills me, right? I see what they did there, so they get all cards. Okay. Do any of these matter? Draw 2, discard 2, explosion, blah blah, no. Draw 3, discard, no. Mana, no. Draw 2. So none of these actually matter. My opponent may have actually wanted to split these up to guarantee an Ornithopter. I think it would have died, right? Pretty sure it would have died if they split those up. Still could be dead, though. Still could be dead. It's a lot of cards that kill me, so... We did it. We did it. We actually won this game. That is unbelievable. That's hilarious. Wow. I cannot believe I won this game. I cannot believe I won this game, and I won it at 1 as well. What a crazy game. If my opponent didn't crack that land, they would have actually been at 1. And if they split the Thopters, I think I would have died to the Thopter. So they kind of jacked 2 things up there, right? What a crazy game to win. Yeah, such back and forth. They cast this twice. We took so much damage from the Jhin. If we didn't take all that damage from the Jhin, too, it wouldn't have actually been this close at all. So that's something to take note of. But, yeah, look at that. Really crazy game. Nice. I love it. Good old blue-red versus blue-red. Except we're, like, vastly different blue-red decks. I love it. What is that thing? A goblin? What the? It is a goblin. Oh, it's like a weird Croxa thing. I've seen this. Alright, this hand is all mana, so my top decks are really good, but like... Maybe I just keep this, and maybe my opponent is very distracted at killing my commander over and over. It would actually be quite nice for us. I name human with cavern. I think there's more humans than artificers. Doesn't matter in this matchup. Unless it does, which I don't think it does. I don't think there's any black or red counter stuff in this game. Opponent gets access first, which is unfortunate, but whatever. They draw their hand and draw... okay. I guess. What? Discard a... What just happened? Discard a swamp? What does this do? Ran it from the... to the right? Okay, so... my opponent gave me all lands? Okay. I'm so confused. Is my opponent's deck all lands? And they just, like, juggle your hand? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all, so... I don't think that's the case. In fact, I think hitting 7 lands might just be, like, an average outcome, because, again... maybe it isn't. Maybe, like, 4 lands is an average outcome. I know my deck. There's not a lot of cards in it that I'm like... Do you get duplicates? Alright, you duplicate. You don't actually steal it, so they don't have, like, my copy of Cold Steel Heart, basically. Otherwise, you might actually, like, never know what's missing in your deck, and that could be very annoying. Okay, they pitch a card to get that, sure. Okay, I'm just gonna be discarding lands, I guess. I don't... Okay. Might as well play the Surveil land? This does have Death Touch, right? I should not be... Okay, yeah. Just making sure. Not wasting my, my opportunity to block it. Okay. They named blue on the Cold Steel Heart for whatever reason. They didn't have to. All the cards that you steal off that wheel are free. Or, they're every color. They're, like, colorless and mana cost. Your duplicate cards. Okay, just do this now. That way I don't accidentally block like a goober. Alright, well, I mean, we're bound to hit something that isn't a land, right? Thought Monitor is decent, but I think I can do better. Well, that's not that amazing. Okay. Let's put this in play. It's a legendary, I can't put 2 in play. I don't really know if I want to metamorph anything. Maybe I should, just for the sake of casting spells. Like, the Gilded Lotus isn't useless. It does give me a lot of opportunities to hit useful things as this game proceeds. Hello, Mystic Forge. How are you? Okay. I don't know if I want to draw that. I can just get rid of it. Opponent stole my planar bridge. Of course they did. Why wouldn't they? And a Thought Monitor. Yep. Of course. Okay, I don't want to land either. Hopefully there's no stupid permanents in my opponent's deck for that planar bridge. I don't know how many you could be running realistically, but knowing my luck, probably a bajillion zillion. Remove a suspect counter, draw, yep, got nothing else to do. It's gonna be a land, of course. Alright, Cyclonic Rift. If I cast that on the planar bridge, they can't use it this turn cycle, but, how useful is that? I don't really have a choice. I don't think I have a choice. I think I just like have to do that. Okay, there's a good card on the top of my deck. That's nice. Whir of Invention getting Portal might be useful. I don't know what else. Yeah, probably just get Portal. This is a black-red, like, weird aggro deck, so Portal makes sense to me. Maybe they have Inferno Titan or something? I don't know. They like their scrap yards. How many do you need to do the weird thing? 3 of them and you get the thing with stuff? Sure. Okay. Nothing on top that's any good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, well, we're doing it for 9, so... Auto pay, yep. And then you. And then make them sack their stuff. Planar bridge is a problem, though. Hopefully there's no giant haste threat. I don't really know what's going to happen. I am not excited to find out. But I will find out nonetheless. Shuffling a duplicate of a mountain of my opponent's deck. Shuffling it in my own deck. That's funny. Or at least exiling it with the Mystic Forge. I would like to surprise whatever they do with the bridge with the Cityscape Leveler. That's pretty useful. This is a nice draw. But they can get kind of anything. Just kind of hoping it's not a... Really, I have no idea. I don't know what it could or couldn't be. Whenever enters the... Okay, they got another wheel effect. Sure. Alright, I'm forced to do this then right now, which is still completely fine. Still works out quite nice. I mean, my opponent ended up discarding more than I did. Again with the 7 lands. 7 random cards. Okay, I mean... I guess that's just the outcome. I assume it happened to my opponent as well. Oh, of course not. Why would it? They lightning bolted my face. I really do not want to die to my own forge. Opponent's graveyard. Let's take your thingy. Okay. Yep, that's free. Pact of... I can cast this whenever I want? No, I can't. Oh, it's gonna get hit off the, it's gonna get hit off the Cascade. I have to draw it then. Oh, that's a really good one. Lightning Bolt of my own. Suppose I'll play Phyrexian Tower. And let's just put Immortal Sun in play right now. And swing. And blow up the Planar Bridge so I don't lose to it. Although they got something that isn't even the scariest thing to get. So, not the worst. I'm going to Lightning Bolt their creature with the free Cascade here. Maybe I don't even want to kill this, but I did. Okay. Alright, Pact of Negation. Hopefully you're not the only thing between me and imminent death, but maybe you are. Yeah, that wheel effect is really weird. We literally hit 14 lands off of that wheel effect. I feel like that's extremely unlikely. I don't know how dense my... Like, how many lands my opponent's running, but like 7 for 7 twice seems unlikely. I think this is a Prismari command. That would justify the Lightning Bolt. It was a Prismari command. Deal 2 damage and blow up the Nettle Cyst. It does not immediately kill me, therefore I will not care about it. It does not immediately kill me, therefore I do not care. Alright. Blind Seek. The One Ring is another layer. Basically a time warp of not taking damage, which in this matchup is probably extremely useful. Probably. Get out of your own graveyard. What are you doing? Get out of there. Get out of there. What are you doing? What are you doing? You don't even have black mana. What are you doing? Turn up to 1 instant and 1 sorcery. Let's stop dealing with this wheel effect for once. Alright, almost done. Yeah, I mean, they could have still maybe won this, right? Like runner 3 damage, misclick on the this descend trigger or something, but nope. Alright, this is kind of a cool deck. I like what they were doing. This card is interesting. I've never seen it before, literally ever. Probably for a reason. It is probably unlikely that I do hit 14 lands when this casts twice. It's basically like just drawing a new hand. right? It's just the equivalent of a essentially drawing a starting hand out of your opponent's deck. So basically, we drew two 7/7 lands out of our opponent's deck, which is again probably the average outcome is like 3 or 4 lands and 3 non-lands. My opponent definitely probably got a lot more. Actually, they absolutely got a actual average. So little does my opponent know that this was just like the best thing ever twice. And they'll never know that that was the best thing ever twice, which is hilarious. They'll never know that I actually just drew nothing. That is so funny. If I had drawn any useful spells off of either of these casts, this game probably would have been even farther from as close or not close as it was, too. That's kind of crazy, but okay. I actually felt really good against the Pock matchup, too, as Mono White. And this is another matchup I feel extremely good with, Mono White, because you run 12 board wipes. I don't agree with Karn, though. That makes 0 sense to me, but obviously it was profoundly good in that spot. But we did get past that. We did actually get past it. Yep, right when they need it. Just X for 9. Perfect poison. Why not? Oh, look. Homogeneous green. Well, I guess I'm just going to counter their commander, because they gave me the opportunity to. With the old crab. I think I can, at least, right? Yeah. It's 3 mana. This discounts it by 1, so... Wait a minute. What's happening? This can be countered. Alright. For some reason, I thought it had, like, that red aura, and it just gave me flashbacks. That doesn't do anything? What? Okay. That is not a Veil of Summer, opponent. Okay. Let's get the mana. I don't need the journal. Alright, opponent just blundered through the roof and then just shame conceded. Okay. So I really like this commander. It's really interesting. I don't think any of my game... Oh, no, I think there was a couple that like went down to actually beating my opponent to death in a violent fashion. But for the most part, your opponent just gets drowned in like ridiculous and strange value that they just kind of give up. And it did that pretty consistently. I have still yet to lose with a turn 1 Ragavan. That has never changed, and it literally hasn't yet. I don't imagine it ever changing. Turn 1 Ragavan is just really good. It's so good that, like, you know, when your opponent blocks and... Alright, no, I'm not... No, I'm not talking about Ragavan. I like how I can play this on turn 2, and then I can also, next turn, on turn 3, use it to get one of these rocks in play. That's pretty neat. So it's sort of like you got this and your rock in play on turn 2, right? Assuming this survives. Which is kind of cool. You don't feel as bad. There's no point of contention between this on turn 2 and a rock on turn 2. You just always do this. You just sort of get both that way. And then going into the 4s were decent, but even if you don't do this perfect curve thing, and getting another 2 is actually just fine. This does a pretty good job, sort of, at paying for itself, commander tax-wise, by just, like, adding mana into play. The top end is also pretty decent. I took out the Sundering Titan, as even, basically, if this was even a monocolor deck, I just don't think Sundering Titan is really that good. It just does not seem like it's that good. This maybe in like 4-player stuff, right? But when you're blowing up your own lands, it just feels a little rough. It's not as bad for us, as a lot of our mana is non-land, and a lot of our mana could even just be this, so it's not as bad, but it's still just not great. And it also happens kind of later on, where it might not matter anyways. But let's say you blew up the first sliver's lands, and you got like 8 lands. It's like they can still just win, right? And you blow up 4 of your own lands, see, they can just still win. I don't really like that. Unless you're more in on that land destruction thing, it just doesn't feel all that useful, because we're well past the point of color disruption. You cannot color disrupt in Magic the Gathering at all. Probably in any format, maybe Pauper, but I don't think there's a land destruction thing in Pauper anyways. But Magic is at the point now where every single color combination, 4s and 5 colors, notably, just don't have any issue at all getting all 5 colors, basically like turn 4 onwards. You could just mulligan 10 times, look at 10 starting hands of any 5-color commander deck, and 9 out of 10 of them probably have 3 or 4 colors ready to go, and then they can find the other one easily. It's just so color fixing is a non-existent triviality. It's just not a thing anymore in Magic. You have 30 years of cards to pull from. It was bound to happen, but we're at that point. So blowing up your opponent's land, Sundering Titan is just not. You color screwing your opponent, and land destruction on turn 8 onwards is just not doing anything. So everything else, though, I liked. I liked how the mana that I was cheating into play is still relevant outside of simply tapping this to then cheat out whatever I'm ramping into in the first place, right? Like, if you cheat Planar Bridge into play, it's like, oh, great, yeah, I did it for free. Why do I want all this mana? Well, because Planar Bridge still has text on it, right? You still have things to do with your mana that play nicely alongside Jhoira. You could run more counter spells than I did, and then just, more rely on Jhoira's ability to cheat stuff into play, and then use your mana on your opponent's turn. Kind of like Gretchen, the blue-green commander, playing everything on your opponent's turn, right? That's a little bit different, but, same concept, I guess. But yeah, I liked the games where it felt kind of bad weren't horrible, which I like. Usually it wasn't I wasn't in a spot where I'm losing and I'm like, oh, I'm so far behind that, it's just, this is impossible, right? I mean, you're going to get to that point eventually if you lose, right? But I never felt like I'm just falling more and more behind. I didn't have a string of horrendously bad top decks. I always felt like there was something to do, and I really did like that. This is the first deck where Investigator's Journal felt useful, too. That was pretty cool. Maybe this can be looked at more as a card draw engine, just something to draw cards out of. I mean, we are blue, so there are big draw spells we could run it over weird stuff like that, but it plays nicely with the ability anyways, so you might as well get a discount on pieces of your card draw because it's in the form of artifacts for this to put in play for free. I crafted this at the end and never cast it, but it's basically another Phyrexian Metamorph. That's why you see it here, and I just never got to play with it. I could maybe run more extra turn effects as well, and then maybe ways to pull instant sorceries out of my graveyard and library to maybe consistently get that going. I don't hate that strategy. There's certainly different ways to build this, but I think this was where I think I just like this iteration, kind of as all in on the artifact style portion of it as you kind of can get without feeling ridiculous about it. The reality chip may be the most questionable artifact. It does require your commander be in play most of the time, as there are not many creatures other than that for it to attach to. The information of the top of your deck is actually quite useful, even if you can't cast it. It's actually still pretty useful. There's plenty of fetch lands in the format at this point, right? And Tome of the Infinite can randomly roll Ponder, which shuffles. But, I mean, Ponder, you already see the top card because it's Ponder, and Ponder is just ridiculous. But, yeah, that's it. Scam people with Tome, if that's your thing. You can do that in this deck. All of the artifacts 2, 3, 4, 5, and up are just fine to hit with this. I never felt bad about anything. Metalwork Colossus is not a true target for this, as it basically discounts itself as this just ticks away. So I like it. I like this, and I recommend it if you like this style of winning through not necessarily combat. So let me know what you thought about it. If you have ideas of what yours looks like and ideas to change mine, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.